25 years old, NBA YoungBoy isn't just rich. He's built a money machine so powerful, it keeps printing millions, even when he's not allowed to leave his house. And once you understand how he did it, you'll realize the industry was never prepared for someone like him. But this story doesn't start with money. It starts with a kid growing up in North Baton Rouge without a father who was locked away for serious criminal charges before YoungBoy ever had a chance to be guided, protected, and taught how to be a man. No blueprint, no safety net, no second chances, just survival. So when people ask how a kid with no diploma, no industry backing, and every reason to fail built an empire pushing $500 million in career value, the answer isn't luck, it's pressure. The kind of pressure that for most people destroys futures. But YoungBoy forged something dangerous. Because to understand NBA YoungBoy's work ethic, his urgency, and his refusal to slow down, you have to understand what it means to grow up watching fathers disappear, friends fall, and opportunities close early, especially for young black boys who are told the odds are already stacked against them. This isn't just a rap story, it's a story about breaking cycles, about turning absence into fuel, and about becoming the example you never had. And this is where everything starts to get uncomfortable. NBA YoungBoy didn't come from opportunity, he came from pressure. North Baton Rouge isn't just a neighborhood, it's an environment that forces you to grow up fast or not grow up at all. Violence, loss, instability, all of it was normal before YoungBoy ever touched a microphone. By the time most kids were worrying about homework, he was already learning survival. And that kind of upbringing does something dangerous to a person because it either breaks you or it hardens you into something relentless. And YoungBoy chose the second path, whether he knew it or not. By his early teens, the system had already labeled him a problem. School didn't stick, stability didn't exist, and trouble wasn't something he searched for. It found him, but then something unexpected happened. Locked away in juvenile detention, with nothing but time and trauma, YoungBoy started writing, not chasing hits, not trying to impress anyone, just unloading everything he'd been carrying. No beats, no studio, just pain turned into pages. And without realizing it, he had discovered the one thing that would save his life, and eventually make him unstoppable. But what happened next is what separates him from everyone else. Most people find purpose and still don't act on it. YoungBoy did the opposite. When he got out, he didn't wait for a label. He didn't wait for validation. He didn't wait for the right moment. He worked relentlessly. While other artists were chasing perfection, YoungBoy chased volume, mixtape after mixtape, song after song. No long breaks, no disappearances, just output. And here's the part most people miss. This wasn't random. It was a business strategy before people realized it could be one. And once the internet caught on, there was no slowing him down. But the real shift came when his environment followed him into the booth. When YoungBoy broke through, it wasn't because he sounded polished. It was because he sounded real. Listeners didn't just hear music. They heard urgency, fear, hunger, trauma that hadn't healed yet. And fans didn't just stream the songs. They attached themselves to the story. Every release felt like a chapter. Every video felt like proof he was still alive. And as the views stacked into the hundreds of millions, something powerful started happening behind the scenes. YoungBoy wasn't just becoming famous. He was becoming algorithm proof. And that's when the empire truly began forming. Here's what most artists never figure out. In the streaming era, consistency beats perfection. YoungBoy understood that if attention is currency, then constant presence equals constant income. While others dropped once a year, he flooded platforms nonstop. YouTube, streaming services, social media. Everywhere you looked, there he was. And the math started compounding in his favor. But the real genius move wasn't the music. It was ownership. While many artists trade control for quick advances, YoungBoy kept leverage. By holding on to rights and negotiating from a position of proven demand, his catalog became an asset, not just art. That catalog doesn't sleep. It doesn't tour. It doesn't ask permission. It generates money every single day. And when parts of that catalog were eventually leveraged in deals, it wasn't desperation, it was strategy. That's how you turn songs into 8-figure decisions. But then, everything should have stopped. Instead, it exploded. House arrest is supposed to end careers. No tours, no shows, no freedom. For most artists, it's a death sentence. For YoungBoy, it became a factory. Confined to one location, he did what he's always done, adapt. He turned isolation into intimacy, repetition into branding, limitation into routine, garage videos, constant drops, direct connection with fans, and somehow the restrictions made him feel closer, not farther away, which is exactly why the money accelerated instead of slowing down. And this is where the numbers started getting scary. Between massive recording deals, catalog leverage, streaming dominance, and direct-to-fan monetization, YoungBoy's career valuation began approaching territory most artists never touch. Not net worth headlines, not flashy estimates, but real scalable power. When you combine ownership, volume, loyalty, and leverage, you don't build a hit run, you build an empire. And that empire doesn't depend on radio. It doesn't depend on approval. It doesn't even depend on movement. Which is why, by his mid-20s, YoungBoy wasn't chasing money anymore. Money was chasing him. But there was still one more pressure fueling everything: responsibility. YoungBoy doesn't move like someone with a safety net. He moves like someone who knows everything can disappear tomorrow. Family, children, legacy. Those aren't side notes. They're fuel. When every decision affects more than just you, resting becomes risky. Slowing down feels dangerous, and complacency feels like betrayal. That's why the pace never changed, and that's why the empire keeps expanding. But here's the twist most people don't expect. Despite the chaos, the controversy, and the criticism, YoungBoy never tried to become a perfect artist. He stayed raw, he stayed polarizing, he stayed by himself. And that authenticity created something the industry can't manufacture: loyalty at scale. Fans don't just listen, they defend, they wait, they return, which means the business doesn't collapse when trends change. It doesn't panic when algorithms shift. It doesn't disappear when the spotlight moves on to the next new face. That's the difference between artists who chase moments and builders who create machines. And that's exactly how something grows into hundreds of millions in long-term value. Not through overnight success, not through one viral hit, but through unstoppable momentum that compounds year after year. Every release feeds the last one. Every fan becomes a multiplier. Every decision strengthens the foundation instead of risking it. And here's the scariest part for the industry. He's still early. At just 25 years old, NBA YoungBoy has already accomplished what most artists spend entire careers chasing and never touch. He didn't just make music, he cracked the code between creativity and control. He understood that expression without ownership is temporary, but ownership turns art into power. He transformed trauma into relentless output. That output became leverage. That leverage became ownership. And that ownership became an empire that keeps expanding whether the industry approves or not. This isn't just a rap success story. It's a blueprint for dominance in the modern era. A lesson in consistency over hype, in control over clout, in building something that survives criticism, controversy, and change. And if this is what NBA YoungBoy was able to build under pressure, under restriction, under constant scrutiny, then imagine what happens next. Because the truth is simple, and it should make everyone else uncomfortable. NBA YoungBoy isn't done building. He's just getting started.